Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with some breaking news coming out of the White House. So they were having a cabinet meeting at the White House, and Donald Trump pressed Tulsi Gabbard on an important issue involving 2020. And obviously, Donald Trump knew the answer to the question. The conversation wasn't for Tulsi so much to report to Trump. It was more for the American people to hear. We're going to play that clip. It's a big one. And then we're going to go over, some of the information surrounding this. There's some more breaking news coming out surrounding Russiagate and some of the documents and some of the people involved. I think we're getting close to the prosecution stage of this whole thing, and you're going to see that here in the show today. But do me a favor, please do smash that like, do chat in with where you're from. Brent Smith, I see you on. Patrick Hartman, good to see you. All you fine folks. Need to mention my sponsor really quickly, folks, and that's Birch Gold. Is the continued divide between Trump and the Federal Reserve putting us behind the curve again? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? I wonder, or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown? And what does this mean for your savings? I can tell you, folks, I do art shows, and I've always been able to grab an indicator of what's going on out there. I only did one this year because I knew that economically it wasn't going to be as fantastic as it had been in years past. We were off the Biden sugar high from the COVID money, and now we're having to pay the piper. And I did not think that it would be that good this year. That doesn't mean I don't like Trump's policies. I love them. But, silver broke $39 the other day. So consider diversifying with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And talk about high inflation. They were buying land in southern Minnesota, Iowa for like 12 grand an acre. And now corn is at $3 a bushel. They're not making money on $3 corn, folks. Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or 401k, you can convert some of that or all of it into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. The first step, though, is to get educated. So get your free info kit on gold by texting Lumberjack to 989898. Again, that's Lumberjack to 989898. And you can consider diversifying some of yours. I will post that up there with a banner. But I need to get into the big news here with Tulsi Gabbard follows on the heels, of course, of the John Bolton home raid. It also follows on the heels of Mark Elias and John Brennan and James Comey all freaking out, talking about the possibility of their prosecutions. Now, they know they did wrong. But watch Abby Phillips here. Watch what she says about this.
Yeah, that this was a weaponized, these were all these different prosecutions and all these different jurisdictions were not all directed from one place. There's absolutely no evidence of that. You guys can tell me what evidence you have of that, but I've never seen it, and I've never heard anybody actually voice it.
The Obama and Biden administrations didn't politicize the DOJ.
Okay, who?
Oh, I mean, come on. You could, I mean, they were better at hiding who it was, or not transparent.
I'm just saying,
how do we know who
if you are making the claim that this was directed by some kind of big puppeteer at the top of the pyramid, who is that person?
So how did the IRS only go after conservative groups?
But
they didn't, though.
And why? You're not answering my question. Who is the person?
I know, right?
Who are they?
I'm talking about the conservatives that Obama and Biden
There's no proof. I'm sorry.
How dense do you have to be to say that there's no proof, that the IRS didn't target conservatives? How bad does it have to be? How married to your narrative are you at that point? I honestly think she actually believes herself. That's what's really wild about that one. But let's watch Tulsi here, and let's see what she had to say today, because this is the kind of stuff that kind of rocks DC to its core.
And you've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned, and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right, we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices, in these bags and in other areas.
Tucked away in the backs of safes, in random offices, in burn bags the documents surrounding the election and Russia collusion.
Areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people and trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people and to our country.
Great job. Thank you. We look forward to hearing it.
Look at Lee Zeldin sitting right next to her, who's doing a stellar job. Lee Zeldin should get more press for the job he's doing. But we all want to know what's going on with the 2020 election and Russiagate. Watch this. This is another wild thing. New declassified documents reveal Brennan's top CIA lawyer, Carolyn Krass, who worked with Hillary's campaign to facilitate Alpha Bank hoax on Trump, shoveled out hundreds of Russiagate docs to Schiff's leakers and set up a read room for them at Langley. She still has clearance. Here, and on that note, let's bring in Mr. Shifty Schiff and see what he has to say, because he's trying to get out in front of this. Okay. Holy cat. Somebody gave me a super sticker. Mary Ellen, when God says bless, I bless. Man, give Mary Ellen a hand clap. Mary Ellen, thank you. Thank you. You've done that a couple times. Thank you so much for that big super chat. It's lovely, and I thank you for it. So we have the same last name. Maybe we're related. Anyways, let's see. I've got to bring in Mr. Schiff. He's trying to get out in front of this because he knows he's in trouble. But he doesn't want you to look because there's no there there.
Do you believe that people need to let this investigation play out and not get ahead of it at this point?
I think this is clearly retribution. I mean, the idea that they just picked John Bolton, a prominent critic of the president, at random. What the president is trying to do here is very systemic and systematic, and that is anyone who stands up to the president, anyone who criticizes the president, anyone who says anything adverse to the president's interests gets the full weight of the federal government brought down on them. So if you're John Bolton, you get your home seized. If you're on the Federal Reserve and you won't lower interest rates, you get threatened with prosecution.
Do you remember when Adam Schiff insulted John Bolton? I do. Nobody likes John Bolton.
Prosecution or with firing. If you're a general, like the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and you issue a report, or your agency does, casting doubt on the success of U.S. military strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, you get fired. If you are the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and you give a jobs report that the president doesn't like, you get fired.
It's so disingenuous because that Department of Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay, they inflated the job numbers under Biden and then had to revise them down during Trump to account for the inflations under Joe Biden. This is complete garbage, and Adam Schiff knows it.
They're essentially going after any critic, any opposition in an effort to intimidate them. That's what this is about. It's not about Bolton per se. It's about anyone else that, like Bolton, might stand up to the president.
I am telling you what, Adam Schiff is out there. I think he's peeing his pants at this point. Let me ask this question. Because I know there's going to be a mixed review on this. How many of you in my audience think Adam Schiff is scared? Shifty Schiff. Adam Schiff is scared, yes or no? Because I know some people don't think he'll ever be prosecuted, and they don't think he has any reason to fear. How many of you think that Adam Schiff is actually scared right now? Or now there could be two reasons for him not being scared. One is that he's not going to get prosecuted, or two is that he thinks he can just lie his way out of it. He thinks that he's just that good. Yes, I do. They have a lot of them. Yes, hell yes. If he's a habitual liar, yes. He's scared shitless. Oh, yeah. So most of you do think he's pissing himself right now, according to the Big Outdoors. Yeah, I don't know. I know that a lot of people don't think the prosecutions will ever happen, but I think they will. Now I want to bring in, folks, I got a special thing I want you to do, but I'm going to give that just a second. I need your opinion on something. But here, I'm going to give you another one These are from Paul Sperry. Paul Sperry writes for Real Clear Investigations. He's got a lot of sources in the intel community. He does a great job reporting, but he said, sources tell me, this is developing. These are both from today. Sources tell me FBI agents investigating John Brennan for perjury have evidence that he puts the lie to his 2023 closed-door testimony, swearing he never personally edited the intelligence community assessment. The false statement is within the 5-year statute of limitations. Okay, I mean, John Brennan, man, this dude, there is something so smug and nasty about him. I really want to see him, I guess, get what he has coming, and I just it blows my mind. But watch this. I think these people are scared. Mark Elias is scared too. Watch this. And Andrew Wiseman, all these people. Andrew Wiseman lied.
NBC political analyst Kim Atkins-Storr is here. Mark Elias, I'm going to start with you because you've been attacked by Donald Trump in a speech he delivered at the Department of Justice. Do you feel the way Miles Taylor feels, that it could happen to you?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, I was Hillary Clinton's general counsel in 2016. And for that, for the privilege, and it was a genuine privilege of representing Secretary Clinton, Donald Trump created an entire, criminal investigation that John Durham ran.
Folks, if you do not know who Mark Elias is, I know he's not as mainline as some of the big names out there, but Mark Elias, founder of Democracy Docket, Elias Law Group, yes, he did rep for Clinton, but he is also the guy who has gone after Trump on every election matter. He wants to see Trump in jail. This guy will do anything he can to defend people not having to use voter ID, to cast mail-in ballots at will, to vote harvest, to all of it. This is the left's chief election lawfare lawyer. Okay? He's the worst.
Went after me and others. It didn't indict me. It did indict others who got acquitted. But he has threatened essentially to bring that back. In 2020, I represented Joe Biden and the Democratic Party in defeating Donald Trump more than 60 times in court. What does Donald Trump think about the 2020?
That's not even true. He did not defeat him over 60 times in court. Courts were not allowing information. There's a process of latches. There's what's the other one that they were always using? No standing. Like, if Donald Trump didn't have standing, I don't know who did. Actually, Donald Trump won a number of those cases. This is another lie peddled by the media.
Election, he thinks it was a big fraud, and he has ruminated about criminal investigations of those of us who protected free and fair elections. And now I'm obviously a very outspoken critic, and I've caught his attention in a number of ways because I refuse to back down and be intimidated by him. So I think all of us who have accepted the responsibility as citizens to tell the truth and accepted the potential consequences that means that Donald Trump will target us, have to be prepared for that and have our eyes wide open about it. But the question is not whether it will happen to Miles Taylor, or it'll happen to me, or happen to Andrew Weissman next, or it'll happen to Chris Christie, or whoever. The question is, how do we all respond? And
well, the beautiful thing about Chris Christie is, you could actually not feed him in prison and he'd be okay.
So when I saw that John Bolton was targeted, the first thing I said, and I wrote about this for Democracy Docket, is I don't even care what the charges are. I wish the Washington Post would stop with we'll see what the evidence is. That's all a bunch of nonsense. What we all need to be saying is John Bolton is being targeted because he's a political opponent of Donald Trump.
Okay, whoa. Did you guys just catch that? We don't need to be asking what the evidence is. This is the exact same with Schiff. This is the new narrative going out. Okay? You don't need to see any evidence, folks. You just need to say that Donald Trump's a liar, that Donald Trump is targeting his political enemies.
Donald Trump targets his political opponents. I don't care or need to know what the allegations are.
I don't care or need to know what the allegations are. So if the allegations about John Bolton were true, if you had allegations of John Bolton taking classified documents, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
know that this is the abuse and misuse of government power.
J.B. Pritzker seemed to call out what you're putting your finger.
J.B. Pritzker, folks, if you didn't see my J.B. Pritzker video today, it's not even so much about J.B. Pritzker. The left is losing the narrative all over the place. It was a beautiful video. Lots of great clips in there. Let me see here. Where was the next one I'm looking for? Right? Let's go to this one. Let's do another one on Bolton here, because they're all upset about Bolton. It's not Bolton that they're upset about. They're upset about all of it. And so they're worried that their homes will be raided. They're worried that their classified documents will be found. Remember, we just had this. The FBI, okay, this is now coming out. Classified documents reveal that Brennan's top CIA lawyer, Carolyn Crass, who worked with Hillary's campaign to facilitate Alpha Bank hoax on Trump, shoveled out hundreds of Russiagate docs to Schiff's leakers and set up a read room for them at Langley. That's crazy. She still has clearance. Still has clearance. Okay, watch this.
Is all of this?
Well, this crusade, a criminal crusade against political adversaries is completely unprecedented.
That is so funny. This political crusade, this crusade against political adversaries, folks, it's unprecedented. I mean, it's absolutely unprecedented. You've never seen anything like this before. Have you guys ever seen anything like this before? Curious in the chat. When have you seen something like this before?
In all of American history. I think that's true. Now, when the Bolton matter, I think in fairness to the Justice Department, it needs to be pointed out that those search warrants were approved by an independent magistrate, both in New York and in Washington and Maryland. So there was at least some check observed. But when you look at the full range of criminal investigations, whether it's Senator Adam Schiff or New York Attorney General Tish James or Lisa Cook, the Fed governor.
Wait, you mean the people that committed mortgage fraud? Okay, that's right, Tish James and Adam Schiff.
Who was the president attempted to fire today. Whether that's legal is a separate question. Miles Taylor, who's on tonight. All of these are political adversaries under criminal investigation. And I should add to that list Barack Obama, whom the president said committed treason and is now under investigation. This kind of crusade against enemies is absolutely unprecedented.
Miles?
Unprecedented, folks. Unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this before in my whole entire life. What the? This is so nuts. Here, let's watch another.
I talked to people in MAGA world, and these are not like Paul Ryan Republicans. These are Donald Trump Republicans.
Okay, now here it is. This is editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. This is about targeting John Bolton. Now, remember that the Wall Street Journal is very hawkish on war, so they're fans of John Bolton. Now, listen to what he is saying here when he says, so he didn't talk to me. Okay, he's talking to people in MAGA world, though. Okay, so we're going to run a poll. These aren't Paul Ryan Republicans. Okay, just like you aren't Paul Ryan Republicans. Okay, listen to what he has to say here and answer. Are you uncomfortable with this? Yes or no?
Said that raid, which unfolded live on your air on Friday, made them uncomfortable, that this seemed like, even for President Trump, this seemed like new territory. Now,
okay, so there it is. The raid on John Bolton's home. Did that make you uncomfortable? Because this is the MAGA world people, not the Paul Ryan Republicans. Who are these people they talk to that they always quote these vague theys?
Important to note that we don't yet know the reason for that search. We have not seen the documents that were behind it. Axios' Mark Caputo has reporting that part of what they are looking for here had to do with the sharing of classified information. And so there may be more to this than we know. There's reporting out there that it goes beyond the book, so we just don't know. But I can.
So there it is. We're being told that it's just unbelievable. Folks, they are scared. They are scared. Make no mistake. I believe that they are scared because, see, this isn't Trump in his first term. This isn't Trump when he hadn't experienced the deep state in action. Okay? This isn't that same Donald Trump. This is a different Donald Trump. I got another important story to cover, but I also want to mention my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack, or actually just go to mypillow.com/Lumberjack. You will land on this page, free shipping on orders over $100. Percale sheets back down to $29.88 just in time for you to order for Christmas. Any size, any color. Those are a little cooler. My favorite sheets by far are these Giza Dream Sheets. Yes, they are more money, but folks, I am telling you, treat yourself. You're spending a third of your life sleeping. Get yourself the best sheets money can buy. You can go out and spend more money on sheets and not get sheets this good. Giza Dream Sheets. It's like my son Jacob tells me, I don't even want to get out of bed, Daddy. I love these Giza sheets. It just freaks. My kids love them. Okay. Employee pricing sale in 1998 on My Pillow Premium Queens. The slippers down to $39.98. They're wonderful. Look at all these great deals. So mypillow.com/lumberjack or call the 800 number. Okay. The 800 number is 1-800-568-2865. I always encourage people to use the 800 number. Give those home operators some business. These are Mike hires recovering addicts. These are people who could really use your help. So call the 800 number, 1-800-568-2865. All right. Now I'm going to go on to another big story here. And that's this. How many of you have heard about Cracker Barrel? Now, I don't know about you, but I actually really like Cracker Barrel. Before I do that, though, I want to see if I can just do one other thing quick. I need your guys' opinion on something. I'm going to ask you for your opinion. And this is personal. This isn't newsy. So please just, but I do want your opinion. Here it is. I want to share the screen. And we're going to go here, and we're going to go here. Okay, I need your opinion. This is from my Boundary Waters trip. I took 3 pictures. Well, I took more than 3 pictures, but I kind of settled on 3 pictures. So this is number 1. Okay. Number 2. All right. And this is number 3. Now, what I need you to do is vote 1, 2, or 3, because I need to print one of these to put in my booth at art shows next year. And I don't know which one to do. I'm kind of torn between 2 of them, but I'm curious. I don't want to sway you at all. Okay, let me see here. I've got 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. Let's go back to 1 here. I'll show you 1 again. This is from the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. Thank you guys for helping me out here. 2, 3. 3's winning right now. I think 3's up. This is 1 that's up right now. I'm torn between 1 and 3, to be honest, and most of you aren't going with 1, but there's something about 1 that captivates me. So, all right. Well, thanks. Just a little aside, but yeah, that's the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in northern Minnesota. By the way, you want to hear a really bad thing that's happening there, and you can call the National Forest Service about this if you want to. But what's going on is that there's these, quote, friends of the Boundary Waters group, and they are buying up all the permits at the beginning of the year and returning them closer to the date, so you can't get your permits to the Boundary Waters. And that's how they're going to protect the wilderness, is by not allowing you to go into it, because that's how limousine liberals always act. Once they've got theirs, you can't have yours, because they're better than you and they understand what's needed and you don't. They're sick people. They're sick people. I just liberals, I don't know, something wrong with them, man. There's really something wrong with them. Okay. But now, back to Cracker Barrel. How many of you have heard about what's going on at Cracker Cracker Barrel. How many of you have heard of what's going on at Cracker Barrel? Have you guys heard of this? I almost think you got to be like under a rock right now. They rebranded, but the real story is not the rebranding. Okay? It's not the rebranding. Cracker Barrel had been going woke before. Now their rebrand sucks. It looks like something. It looks industrial. It's not homey. It doesn't have Uncle Herschel on it. They're changing up the stores themselves. And how many of you like Cracker Barrel? I'll be honest. I love Cracker Barrel. I get the country boy breakfast with the steak. I ask for the grits. I get I don't get the sawmill gravy. I don't like the sawmill gravy. But I get the I get one corn muffin and one biscuit, and then I cover those in butter and honey. I get my steak medium rare, my eggs scrambled. I get the hash brown casserole and the fried apples. And I absolutely love that breakfast. And I got to tell you, not going to do it. Okay. So one person says, "Yo, mama says I've never given Cracker Barrel any money and never will." Well, I've given them plenty over the years. So if you're boycotting them now, it doesn't matter. But me boycotting them actually does. So they're backpedaling. They're backpedaling. But I want to show you this. This is where we're getting lied to all the time, not just by government. Watch this. This is a CEO of Cracker Barrel.
The feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing.
Now look at her. Look at her. Look at how she talks. Honestly, if you did not know she was the CEO of Cracker Barrel, would you think she was a liberal or conservative? Like, say you just saw her out in public. Okay. It's hard because now you know that she's obviously whack. But if you just saw her out in public, just the way she talks and looks, would you think liberal or conservative?
I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz.
Look at Michael Strahan. Oh, really? This is so funny.
Buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Are they now? Are they doing everything for their guests and team members? Folks, we have new news for you because now Cracker Barrel is caving, okay? The great cave has started, as it were, and I'm going to show this to you. So Robbie Starbuck, who's always outing these corporations, check it out. So this is what's going on now at Cracker Barrel. Management is cracking. Today, they removed the LGBTQ pride page off the Cracker Barrel website. First 3 screenshots below show what the page used to look like, and the 4th shows how it looks now. The backlash against them for going woke has them in a panic. Folks, they are getting the Bud Light treatment. And you know what's really interesting? They knew. They were warned. So Cracker Barrel CEO dismissed warnings from a top investor who called the rebranding obvious folly. Okay? So Julie Fells-Massino and board ignored Sardar Biglari's criticism of $700 million transformation plan, calling it obvious folly. Okay. That day, Cracker Barrel's CEO, Julie Fells, got on the phone with investors and unveiled the details of the strategic transformation plan. So here's the old logo with Uncle Herschel. Here's the new logo. Okay, but this is more than just the logo, folks. This is a company that had gone woke. And just like Bud Light, that's not their audience. Because who likes Cracker Barrel? I like Cracker Barrel. I'm just going to say something. But just this article, the reason they didn't listen to this investor, the reason she didn't listen to him, is because he's a Trump supporter. Yeah, that's why. So her fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders of that company is to produce a profit, and she can't do it because she's ideologically driven. This is the installation of CEOs and board members by the BlackRock crew and by these liberals who have taken this stuff over. But it's not going to go well for them, just like it didn't go well for Bud Light. Okay. Call it woke barrel now. Man, I'm telling you. And I did. I loved the Country Boy. Grandma's pancake breakfast. Oh, their turkey casserole was fantastic. Used to like it. Their biscuits aren't as good anymore. Okay. They aren't. And it turns out that they're not making them fresh every day. Trump Sword gave me a super chat, so I got to bring it up here. If Cracker Barrels add truck parking, I'd go there. Many omelet shop and waffle houses offer semi parking, just saying. So yeah, I mean, that would be another thing they could do. But the real problem now with Cracker Barrel is they've gotten woke. So now I can't, I just don't want to. I don't want to support them. And I used to, like, when I would go out elk hunting, which is coming up, mind you, I would stop in Bismarck, North Dakota on the way back and eat at the Cracker Barrel. Or I would stop in Billings, Montana and eat at the Cracker Barrel. I just like country cooking. I like breakfast food. But it's not as good as it was. I mean, there's steak now. Instead of actually getting a steak, you get little steak pieces. They've just gone downhill. They really have. And they weren't great during COVID either. So I skipped on them for a couple of years there. But then I thought, well, I'll give them another chance. But, they're multicolored rockers and they're Pride Parade supporting and all this nonsense. It's just, they don't know what a woman is. It's just whatever. But they're cracking now. And they did make a statement the other day with no apology. And it was really lame. But it's so Michelle says it's all mom and pop restaurants for us. It's not for me, Michelle. When I'm on the road, when I'm driving the freeway, I want something off the exit. And that is what they do. Actually, many of these companies are almost more real estate companies than they are restaurants or gas stations. I mean, I want easy on, easy off. That's what I want. I want right there at the exit, easy on, easy off. How many of you are like that when you're traveling? Because I mean, when I go elk hunting, I've got a 14-hour drive, 12-hour drive, whatever it is. Sometimes even more if I'm going to Idaho. Now that they went like a joke with their elk tags, it's hard. But I just want to get in and out. How many of you are like that when you're out traveling? I mean, I want to get from point A to point B. I know there's joy, the journey, the destination, and all that. I'm usually so tight on time. I want to get to my destination. My destination is so enjoyable anyways, whether it's like the Boundary Waters or elk hunting in the mountains. So, that's just, yeah, Pam. Yeah. Don't want to spend time hunting for a place. I don't either. And so that's where I'm at. So I don't get to always go to these mom and pop places. Now, if I'm in White Sulphur Springs, Montana, or I'm in Salmon, Idaho, I don't know if you guys have ever had the burgers. What's that burger joint in Salmon, Idaho? I just love it. They're affordable. They're good. And they just have a lot of town pride. It's like an Indian name, something burger, like Apache burger, but it's not Apache. Anyway, somebody's going to know Salmon, Idaho, the burger joint there. Somebody's comments on this. So, I eat at places like that. Savage. It's Savage Burger in Salmon, Idaho. And like when I was out elk hunting, and I'd eat there like 2 times a week. I just loved it. I loved it. If I was in town, I was getting a Savage Burger. So I love going to local joints, but I don't have that luxury when I'm traveling the freeway. And that's what made Cracker Barrel so great. But then they went woke. I used to work at Cracker Barrel also. So it's really sad for me to see them go down like this. I used to wait tables at Cracker Barrel back. Let me see, how old would I have been there at that time? Right around 19, 20 years old. I was a waiter at the Cracker Barrel in Eagan, Minnesota, which coincidentally, shortly after I left, closed. I think they couldn't make it without me. I always remember my manager, Jamie. He would always go, I go, "How you doing, Jamie?" He'd go, "Fantastic," was the way he said it. And so it's sad to see Cracker Barrel go downhill like that. Yeah. Savage Grill. See, there it is. Savage Grill. It's good stuff. Salmon, Idaho, if you ever get out there. But yeah, I love small towns, and when I'm out at my destination, I eat at mom and pop joints all the time. I don't do fast food much at all, unless you consider Qdoba. I guess that's, they go to the line. I like Qdobas. I don't like Chipotle as much anymore. They're kind of wokesters too. So anyways, I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. Okay. Seriously, keep fighting the good fight. And I'll see you in the next episode. Please go check out my sponsors, MyPillow and Birch Gold. Text Lumberjack to 989-898 to get your free info kit on gold and silver. And you can go to mypillow.com/lumberjack. Big savings right now on the percale sheets. Get Christmas presents done early. And we'll see you guys. It's called Wacko Barrel. Anyways, thanks so much. We'll see you on the next episode, folks. Peace out.